How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the one trade that I took on NQ. Took a trade in the pre-market, held it throughout market open. Decent one on the day. So that's all I took. I wasn't really looking to jump into anything with a decent win secured right off the bat. But we'll go over what I was looking at here. We have ES on the 1 hour, and then I'll go over the NQ on the 1 hour. They're both pretty similar in terms of price action the past couple trading days. So we've been in this range. We had a big move to the upside. Now we're moving horizontally. Whenever we're in a range, I'm looking to play the tops and bottoms of that range. Ideally trying to avoid some of the intermediate levels. But when we're at the bottom of the range, looking to go long. If we're at the top of the range, looking to short. So we have this zone here about 53.65 to 53.72. We have yesterday's high, last Friday's high, last Friday's low, and then this zone here around 53.46 to 53.51 or so, we'll call it. So similar to ES and Q, same thing, right? We had that big run up. Now we've been moving horizontally. We have Friday's high, Friday's low. We have this zone here, 1900.02 and like 1931 and 19107 to 19124, so we'll call it. Generally, just these ranges where, like I said, if we're up in here, we're looking for signs of weakness on a lower time frame to maybe indicate getting short. If we're down here, we're looking at signs of a bounce or a reversal to get long. And that's what we did today. So let's jump into the 5,000 tick chart and take a look at what I was watching on NQ this morning. So I noticed from last Friday's after hours to the pre-market, we were kind of forming this wedge. We were holding Friday's low and then kind of coiling in this region. The trade that I took was right in here. I took a long, reason being we had come down pretty aggressively, held with a hammer on this Friday low, and then started to hold again. I entered one contract somewhere in here. We started to range a little bit. We pushed quite a bit lower, and once I saw us within this range, but yet holding these lows down in here. And the reason why I held through this, I didn't put a stop loss in immediately because I knew that there's potential that we'd come and sweep this area in here. So held one contract and actually added another once we started to form this range, and it looks like we were going to hold support. Added another down in here to bring my average price down a bit. And then also, if we started to break down, I would have got out. Entering that second position down here has kind of minimal risk if I have to stop out versus the potential reward if the price does move up in the direction I'm looking. So ideally what I was looking for is price to hold down in here and just return, higher up. I was watching kind of this, where was I? Around the 19.015 level, somewhere right in here, kind of where we have a series of these wicks. So that was my ultimate final target. My first target was at the top of this range. So entering in here and then down here, my average price was a little lower. Once we hit the top of that range, I got out one contract. Once I trimmed my first contract, I put the stop loss just above break even on my runner. That way I'm just completely risk off no matter what. It's a winning trade at that point. But didn't really need to use my stop loss. I started to move it up, but it came up and hit my target of that 19.015 level right in here. So pretty decent move right off the open. Like I said, entered pre-market about 30 minutes before the market opened. Market opened somewhere in here. We start to, break out of that range and move to the upside. There's a little bit more to be captured. It did go up another 7 points or so, but nonetheless was pretty decent move. I think reserving my entry for a little later would have been solid. Not every trade's going to be perfect, but was happy to hold through some of that. I think the big part of some of my more successful trading recently is just letting things work out. Obviously, you don't want to hold a loser too long, but having too tight of a stop loss has stopped me out of positions it shouldn't have before in the past. So I think that trying to enter essentially where I normally would stop out is the key. From there, the only other thing I was watching is the breakout of this resistance. It was happening on both ES and NQ. On ES, I actually placed an order to try to get in on this break and retest. It didn't quite fill me. I was okay with that. Like I said, I was sitting on a win, so I didn't really want to risk too much. But I was willing to take one contract, risk a couple of points, and see what I could do, targeting, swing highs. But like I said, it didn't fill me. I didn't want to chase it. There was a great opportunity in here, and I was kind of playing around with the idea of just bidding in. But like I said, I didn't want to jump into it. Although this is a great setup, and it absolutely worked, right? You see us, we have this downward trend, we have this resistance. We put in a low, we put in a higher low, we start to curl, right? That selling momentum that you see here, where it's just vertical moves to the downside don't exist. It slows down, right? We get this initial bounce, and it comes down and starts to round out, and then we break out of that resistance, retest it. That's absolutely beautiful. And we move right back up to this next zone. It's absolutely perfect. So I don't know, when you see stuff like this, maybe I just need to send it and trust myself, because that would be, that's a pretty straight up move, not really any serious pullbacks, for well over 10 points. So crazy stuff. FOMO now, looking back at it, that I didn't just get into it and see what happened. But anyways, it was a short day. I got off early. I'm happy. It was a good day. And we look to continue it tomorrow. See if we get out of this range. See if we stay in the range. If we don't, then that's how I'll be playing it. All right. Thank you very much for watching. That's all I got for you. Appreciate it. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so I'll be here all week. Stop by if you feel so inclined. We'd love to have you. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.